everybody. I'm Bert Blevins, and I'm with Bryce here, and we're going to talk about zero trust privilege and how you can incorporate that into your environment and make that part of your security posture. So, Bryce, I'm going to hand it over to you. Introduce yourself, and we'll get right to our questions.
Thanks, Bert. I'm Bryce Nichols. I'm a software engineer living in Philadelphia, PA, and I have a long career working in software engineering, DevOps, architecture, and I'm happy to talk today about zero trust.
Okay, very good. So let me ask you this. So how does zero trust privilege differentiate itself from like other security models that we've been traditionally used in the past?
Sure. So the way I think about it, there's kind of an old model of implicit reliance on the network. So there's an idea of like you're on the network, and we trust the network on some level to let us know where things are coming from and to. And so once you're on, you're good. And this is just probably never was true, but it's become more important in recent years to sort of dispense with the illusion that you could count on anything from the network. And so we shift our focus to identity, like checking identity, doing explicit checks for whether a person has access to various resources, and sort of making less assumptions about the environment. We don't really know the precise device that someone might be using, and we have a lot of differences in types of devices where now could be tablet, phone, or a server, or bots. Who really knows?
Could be anything.
So,
right.
Yep.
Okay, so very good. So let me ask you, so what are the kind of the core principles around zero trust privilege?
Sure. So first of all, like I said, starting to explicitly check privileges and access for resources. We follow a principle of least privilege access. So you should you should only be able to see what your level in the organization or your role allows you to see, and we explicitly check those things and put in more controls there. And least privilege is important because I think contrasted with an old way, it's like I said, hey, maybe you're an employee with our company, so we kind of implicitly trust you, and it ignores the fact that not everyone has the same responsibilities. Right. And you shouldn't just be able to do anything simply because you're on the network, you're in the building, whatever those criteria are. It was implicitly assumed that you could count. You made some assumptions, and
right.
They're no longer hold true in today's world.
Okay, so very good. So let me ask you this. So for as far as MFA is concerned, and how do you see that integrating itself or being a part of zero trust privilege?
Yeah, I think quite simply, passwords are hard, and we know. So in some sense, it's a layer of security. It's like a fallback check. It also gives you more information about what's going on. So you get feedback not only from the activity that's happening and the check itself, but then you involve the user themselves. So they might not know someone's trying to access their account, but if they get that check and it says, hey, so it looks like you're trying to log in. If this isn't true, then there's an opportunity to give feedback, and that's helpful. So there's lots of different ways. And to me, from my perspective, there's nothing better than, like, if you did, this is getting really technical, but if you did mutual authentication like MTLS, then that's rock solid, but it still has this component of you've got private keys on a server somewhere or on a person's device.
Right.
And are you going to put all your security on that? And if it's rock solid and you're sure, then yeah. Mm-hmm. But in today's world, it's not that easy. Like if we could do that everywhere, great, but that's not our reality. Right. And we also often services need to bring in like authenticate users, and we don't know their identity ahead of time because it's someone signing up for a service, whatever it is. And that's a special case where you can't have a prearranged sharing of keys or configuration, and you've got to do the best you can in that situation.
Okay, very good. And so you're a big fan. You like MFA as a part of like the whole picture of zero trust. Is that correct?
I think I feel it's a necessary evil, honestly. There's no getting around it today.
No.
So the reason I say that is like there's some usability aspects, and I'd like to see the cleanest possible experience for everyone.
Okay. So let me ask you this, so we'll finalize on that.
I'll say, let me...
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, to be clear, like, we also have to talk about exactly what we mean when we say MFA, because there's many forms that could come in, and we're not going into the details of, is it biometrics? Is it just I use Authy or something like that to perform a check for a lot of the services that I connect to, and that makes a lot of sense. That's a pretty clean experience, and there are many other ways to do that, and there's good standards around that.
What was that one again? One more time?
Oh, Authy. So it's simply that it's an app that allows you to get the notification on your phone and say like, yes, I am logging into the service. It returns a code to you. So it's like a form of token. Like it's kind of the successor to hardware tokens. Or
like a FIDO key.
Fob that you would be able
to. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we could go into like what's happened in the past around those forms of authentication, but I think it's decent. That's like the best experience I've had. So pretty good bang for your buck. And I'm not saying exactly that implementation, but something
like that. Right. Yeah. So last question here. So insider threats, and that sometimes you could have a malicious insider threat, and then you could have sometimes an insider threat that they're overprivileged and somebody compromises their account, and then you got a problem. So how do you believe that zero trust impacts and can mitigate the potential damages or threats involved with insider actions?
Right. So there's a couple of aspects to this. One, you allude to that the blast radius of an incident is reduced because you've already restricted what a person has access to. They should only be able to get to the things that are justified by their role or whatever you've chosen ahead of time is all they should be able to do. One of the principles is to continuously monitor. So if you're putting that into place, then you're already seeing what's going on in the system instead of it just looking like packets and you trust that what's happening is okay because they're on the network.
Right. Individual
actions are tied back to, some hopefully strong cryptography as a check that gives you some strong evidence as to who is performing those actions. And now that's helpful. You can also, if the system's designed well, you have the ability to lock it down more easily.
Okay, so very good. So this has been great, Bryce, and I do appreciate you. And what we're going to do is we'll conclude this, and what we'll do is a follow-up session here in maybe in a few weeks to see how we're doing and continue on our discussions. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Bryce.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.